So gone are the days of Nintendo Switch Pro rumors, and here are the days of Nintendo Switch 2 rumors, as this topic has been on fire lately online following some very interesting posts that did outline the entirety of the most recent Pokemon Presents event when it comes to specific name-dropping details that nobody without inside information could have accurately predicted. And this individual proceeded to suggest at the bottom of the post that there is a new Nintendo Switch model planned alongside of DLC 2 for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. But there was a lot of confusion and debate online around what this person really meant, when they even claimed that this was being translated through machine learning or something like Google Translate. And in today's video, we have to go over a massive update around this leak from multiple different sources, as we now have numerous voices chiming in and even different credible leakers from the past being seized and shut down from Nintendo altogether from their legal department, mind you. And we have to go over all the exact details of the latest information around these Nintendo Switch 2 leaks and discuss where we should be setting our expectations when it comes to new Switch hardware as Nintendo fans right now. What's up, Nation? If it's your first time on the channel, make sure you join Sunbro Nation by subscribing below. Hit the like button on this video if you enjoy it today, and make sure you turn on your bell notification icon so you're kept up to date with all the newest gaming news. As I mentioned, guys, today we are discussing once again the Nintendo Switch 2, not to be confused with a Pro model or something that is in the exact same family of systems but just slightly more powerful. We are now transitioning this conversation into a true next generation successor. Yes, there may have been plans at one point in time for Nintendo to do a more powerful refresh, and they very well could have planned that as the OLED model Switch, but due to the real world chip shortage and issues going on with distribution globally, those plans could have entirely been shelved. Now clearly we will never know what Nintendo actually had up their sleeves and what the actual game plan looked like from them at their own headquarters, because we don't have that kind of visibility behind the scenes. But a lot of different various reporters, gaming journalists, quote unquote insiders out there have reported that they've once upon a time heard developers telling them that they had something that was more powerful in terms of a current model Switch, but then those plans quickly shifted, and you had all of the infamous reporting from Takahashi Mochizuki over at Bloomberg, reporting that he had contacted over 11 different game devs, name dropping Zynga as one that had 4K capable Nintendo Switch dev units. And he also went on to outline the exact surface style kickstand of the Nintendo Switch OLED model, and confirmed the exact 7-inch OLED display that we ultimately did see ship with that model. But the thing that was missing was more power, and that is clearly what many Nintendo Switch fans, including myself, are ready for at this point, now that we've completed a full 6 years of the Switch being on the market this month in March, and we will talk about the 7th year of sales beginning. This is already historically a very long life cycle for any Nintendo console, and so it begs the question, when will we learn more about what Nintendo is planning beyond the current model Switch? Now, this story is primarily back in the news due to an infamous 4chan leak that you would normally just throw out the window, dismiss, and move on about your day. Unfortunately, though, this one actually leaked out full details of the Pokemon Presents event and a trailer that was shown for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC, outlining the exact name of the DLC and various other details that you couldn't just simply guess. And at the bottom of that post, of course, this user suggested that there is a new model Switch planned to come out alongside of DLC 2. Many took to the comment sections in various videos and online forums debating about how could you really for sure say that that is next generation Nintendo hardware when he just said new model. Maybe they mean something like a special edition Switch. Maybe he means something like new Pokemon character models, but not actually a true upgrade to the graphics on something that is more powerful. And so that post definitely stirred up quite a bit of controversy online. In addition to that, we had Jeff Grubb chiming in on things he's heard with the supposed Nintendo Switch 2 next gen console, whatever it might be called, and even a very well-known Nintendo hardware leaker over on a Chinese forum is involved in this update, because their account has been totally removed and banned at the legal request of Nintendo, definitely adding to their reputation as somebody who did have real information, because I don't think you get targeted from Nintendo's legal team directly unless you were leaking information that Nintendo very much did not want to come to the light of day. As you can first see the update around this Chinese hardware leaker over on our Gaming Leaks and Rumors, where it reads, Chinese Nintendo hardware leaker permabanned, thread deleted at the request of Nintendo. Factory Uncle, as he was amicably known in the leak circle, worked at one of Nintendo's production lines. He leaked previous special editions and talked about a new Switch shell with different hinge and stand mechanism in the recent past. As you can see the previous headline where it says, leaker predicted Splatoon OLED model and date it would be announced, claims upgraded model coming later this year. Apparently, Chinese worker who leaked the backplate of the Switch Lite leaked the announcement of Splatoon OLED model and upgraded model announced later this year. Now, so that's part one to this update. While it may not directly be correlated to what is going on with the other news about the leaker with all of the information from the Pokemon Presents, it could very well signal that now that Nintendo is well aware that this thing is blowing up online and that there is a lot more smoke around their plans for revealing potential new hardware, that they decided to target this individual, make sure that they couldn't share anything else in terms of factory production timeline, and or just take those photos that ultimately can make it online. People didn't know what to make of the Switch Lite before it was a real thing. A lot of people thought it was fake and photoshopped, and it's something that ultimately proved to be true. Same thing with the Splatoon Special Edition OLED, and they clearly wanted to find out who the source was and target them directly before moving forward or getting too much closer to potential production dates that this person was definitely insinuating is the plan for Nintendo in the near future. Now, the part two update to this story has to do with Jeff Grubb taking to the internet in a recent Nintendogs podcast that he runs over on his channel, discussing that he believes that this year is indeed likely for the new model Switch, and that he is hearing things from developers or from contacts that he has that he goes out of his way to say are not directly from him. They can't fully be verified. It's essentially a rumor of a rumor, but he's hearing like late 2023 may indeed be the plan. As you can see this post over on our Gaming Leaks and Rumors, where it says, Jeff Grubb says he has heard rumors of a Switch 2 announcement in late 2023. Says that there is also a 45% chance it could release this year. Unverified rumor. The TLDR is Jeff Grubb says he has heard down the grapevine of a possible Switch 2 announcement this year. Says that there may be some truth to the 4chan post. He also says that there is a 45% chance it could release this year, but he hopes that people will treat this info as a rumor, not fact. Now, one thing to note with the 45% chance thing is it is actually a reference to Fire Emblem when you were saying 45% chance it could happen on something like an enemy hit, and it actually is almost a guaranteed hit. So he's essentially saying it's very likely to come out in 2023, almost a guarantee, not 45% chance, meaning that he's less certain than even half likely or 50-50 that it'll come out this year. So that's what that reference is. Now, the update part 3 to this entire story that I find to be the most fascinating actually has to do with the 4chan user going back to the same thread using a hash verification that essentially cannot be faked in any reasonable amount of time, or it is extremely difficult to pull off. So while there's some debate around the validity of this user actually being who he says he is once again, most people who have knowledge of how these hash verifications work are on the same page that this could not have been faked in this amount of time, and he took back to his original post to update the following. I am the poster of this post. For identification, the original text of this MD5 hash, and he goes on to detail that and says the following. I'm not going to leak any more information. I just want to add some clarifications to the previous one. The hexagon is not the third DLC title, but an element that is displayed many times in DLC. The special terrestrial appearance I mentioned is a new game mechanic that was not announced at the Pokemon Presents. Some Pokemon will acquire new terrestrial forms. The new Switch model I mentioned is, and if you translate this word, it means next generation. And they then say, also, as far as I know, DLC 2 is scheduled to be released in early 2024. Other contents have already been announced. Sorry for the unclearness before. So here's how I read this entire situation. We definitely know that it is time for Nintendo to start shifting focus to what is next when it comes to new hardware. What we don't know is if it's likely to be launched in holiday season 2023 or early 2024, which I could definitely see them doing a repeat of how they launched the original Switch model. And I do feel like late 2023 could be a quick turnaround. Now, one thing that I had questioned previously with this Pokemon leaker was the fact that winter 2023 is what the slide says in terms of when DLC 2 will be revealed, but they say that their understanding leads them to believe that it's early 2024 for DLC 2. Now, Nintendo could be referencing the fiscal year that technically doesn't end until March of 2024, but it would be surprising to me for them to leave winter 2023 on the slide that they featured at the event if it's not actually planned to be out in 2023, although the eShop does list 2024 when it went up. So likely, if there is indeed a more powerful or true Nintendo Switch 2 model planned around the corner, we should maybe be tempering our expectations for more of an early 2024, maybe a 2023 reveal, but early 2024 launch date. At that time, we will be very close to the Switch completing the 7th year of sales, starting the 8th year, and I do think that that is an extremely long life cycle. Even though Nintendo has said it's unprecedented themselves on how long the Switch's life cycle could be, I think we are seeing that point of diminishing returns on the existing models sold today, and it is likely the logical progression to update the Switch at some point within the next year or two max. But I really want to hear from you guys on this particular story, your personal thoughts and opinions on all of these new updates and developments around it. Do you take any stock into the fact that this Chinese hardware leaker has been targeted by Nintendo and had their account completely removed and likely their job removed along with that? Do you think that that leads to any kind of credence around Nintendo's updated hardware plans, and maybe it's going into mass production soon and they don't want this individual to be out there shouting about it online? And what do you think about Jeff Grubb's comments actually insinuating that it's more likely to be released or at least announced in 2023? Do you think that that is indeed what happens? And finally, let me know how you feel about this Pokemon leaker, the information that they have so far, and them going back to the original 4chan post to update it. Do you think this is all legit, or is this somebody who had some limited information on the Pokemon DLC plans but doesn't have any additional information when it comes to hardware plans, and they're just getting one over on the online community that will run wild with this stuff? So regardless of your thoughts and feelings on everything we talked about today, I do look forward to hearing from you all in the comments down below before you leave the video, as I do look forward to getting a back and forth conversation started with you all around these topics. Go watch yesterday's video next if you haven't already, which is on screen right now. Also make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.